Hmm? Ah!
You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode we are talking about the gothic science fiction drama film Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro and released October 17th, 2025. That is right. We're doing it. This is our final movie of the season, and we are also wrapping up our Oscar specials with it as well. And I think this was a perfect one for us to save till the end of the Oscar run this season and this year, because this one is the biggest one nomination-wise that we're covering in this little special. Aside from Sinners that we previously covered in a, previous season, that's actually not only the most nominated film this year, but the most nominated film of all time. Just insane. Because I remember back when we covered it, we were like, I hope it gets some kind of recognition at the Oscars.
Yes.
Like, how about more nominations than any other movie in the history of ever has ever gotten in a year?
Yes.
Is that good enough for you guys?
It's good enough for me. I wanted it to get lots of love, and I hope it actually gets lots of love at the ceremony, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how that turns out. But I mean, what foresight it took for us to just know that Sinners was going to be, so loved.
Yeah. Excited. So besides Sinners, which is huge, then as far as, the other movies that fit our genres and stuff that we kind of cover, Frankenstein's definitely the biggest one that we've saved till the end of this little special. It is up for 9 awards this year. We are Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor for Jacob Elordi, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Makeup and Hairstyling, Production Design, Original Score, Best Sound, and Best Adapted Screenplay. So that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And it might be my personal pick for some of those.
Earlier, I was texting with our Buffalo chat, which I should not even bother because you guys are going to take whatever I say and run off on a side tangent that makes absolutely no sense.
It makes perfect sense.
No. The day that we're recording this is the last day of the figure skating at the Olympics. And so I did my prep after watching the women's free skate. And so I was in a skating mindset. And so as I'm watching this movie, I just kept thinking about somebody needs to skate to this, this soundtrack next year. Someone needs to do a free dance to it. I can, I'm picturing it in my head. You guys took it, ran with it in a direction it should never have gone in.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack is really, really good. Like the music in it.
But it is not up for original score.
It's crazy.
It is not an award it's nominated for.
I know, but someone should skate to it. I want them to. So I'm putting that out in the universe. I actually have people in mind that I think should skate to it. We'll see if the universe picks up on that. I put some wheels in motion, so we'll see.
You shipped a couple of wheels to the most recent winner of the Miss Universe pageant, and we'll see if she can make it happen.
Sure.
That's what I gained from that.
It doesn't matter what I say. You, Jeff, and Jerry twist it into something else, so I don't even know why I bother. There's no point.
Yeah, I think it devolved into, so you want somebody to skate to the entirety of this movie. That's a long program. While they're dressed up as a hot dog. That's kind of...
No. That is not it. That is what you turned it into.
Well, yeah, because after we said, they're going to skate to the entirety of the movie, that's a really long, performance. That's a long program. And then you made sure to include, I also want brats involved.
I did not.
You said brats. And
I called you brats. Because that's what you are. And now my face hurts from...
See, to me, I just saw brats. And I was like, that's a great idea. Make sure they're also dressed as brats. As bratwursts.
Oh,
that's a good idea. You've got some wild ideas, Daphne, but you know what? They'll take you far.
Remember that I have a phone-a-friend that I can bring in at any time that I need to. I'm starting to believe that we're getting closer to that point. Zoran, I'm going to be calling you soon. I don't know how much more I can take. But yeah, here we are, ready to cover Frankenstein. Again, at the end of the season, we only have our RFYL awards left after this.
Yes.
It just seems like super fun and super exciting that we've made it through another season, but also, it's the end of the season, so we'll wind down and take a break. And I'm excited, but not excited, but I guess we'll see where we go. But we'll just talk about Frankenstein, because that's what we're here to do. So, here are some production notes. Was filmed in Edinburgh and Glasgow, Scotland. Based on...
Edinburgh.
Oh my god. And now I'm going to be corrected. Why are you being so mean to me tonight?
I just don't want hate mail.
Hate mail.
Those angry Scots. The fuck you say? Should I call it Edinburgh?
Would you just like to read all of this instead, or say all of it, and I'll just not say anything for the rest of the episode? You can just sit here or stand on a soapbox and dictate your proclamations and thoughts to the world.
Okay.
If you want to hear Pake talk for 2 hours by himself, press 1 now. Was filmed in Edinburgh and Glasgow, Scotland. Based on Mary Shelley's 1818 novel of the same name. Guillermo del Toro wrote the screenplay for this film. He's wanted to do this movie for a very long time, so I'm super stoked for him that he could cross this off his list of things that he really wanted to get to.
His passion projects of films about somebody creating a life, a real boy, and putting it into existence. He's managed to do both of those very well.
Yeah. As you mentioned, it got 9 nominations for Academy Awards. I have to tell you, I really think Jacob Elordi could win.
He's my personal pick.
Yeah.
I've seen all of the movies that are in that category, and I've made my own little personal choice. Yeah, Elordi's my call on that one. I don't know if that's my prediction yet. I'll have to put more thought onto that, but personal choice, if it was up to me only, then yeah, he's getting the Oscar for that one.
Yeah, I'm curious about your predictions, Pake. Are you as successful in predicting Oscars as you are when it comes to Wrestling Fantasy League?
I have a pretty good track record, honestly, if you listen to the Wilhelm ones we've done, and hopefully we're going to be doing that again this year. So
all right.
I do have a decent track record, I think, on getting them right.
Okay. Well, Alexander Desplat, yes, I'm saying it again. Alexander Desplat, he did the music for Jurassic World Rebirth. He also did the music for Frankenstein.
So he's just getting back-to-back Run for Your Lives episodes.
He is, yeah. He's worked with Guillermo del Toro a couple of times on some of his other films, including The Shape of Water. The budget for this one was $120 million. It grossed $481,000 at the box office. I think they should re-release it. Because it was also released on Netflix.
Yeah, again, because it's a Netflix thing, and again, they don't release their numbers. So it made plenty of money, but that's the box office numbers, because to be Oscar nominated, you have to be shown publicly in theaters or festivals or something at some point. And so there's some numbers for that, but it's just very a lot of these movies have a very, very short run to technically be available, and then that's it. So,
Yeah, it is 150 minutes long. One of the longer movies we've covered on this podcast this season, I think. It might be the longest.
A little over 2.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it's long. Pake, give us a synopsis.
All right. Dr. Victor Frankenstein. A lot of people say Frankenstein, but it is said Frankenstein in this movie. A brilliant but egotistical scientist brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment. I also really thought of just the synopsis being, come on, guys, it's Frankenstein. You know what this is.
Yeah. So I love Guillermo del Toro. I love what he brings to the table. He gave me one of my favorite series ever, which is The Strain. I've rewatched it a million times. I really enjoy it. I noticed too that he likes to work with some of the same people. Like David Bradley's been in a couple of his movies. Bern Gorman is another one. And also Alexander Desplat doing the music. He also did Pinocchio in addition to Frankenstein and The Shape of Water. Also, because I did watch the making of short documentary thing of Frankenstein that's also on Netflix, which is really cool. Definitely recommend checking that out if people have time. It's like 30-something minutes, 40 minutes. It's a quick watch. But so I learned a lot about this movie, obviously, from watching that. And yeah, he also works with a lot of the same production people, the people that build the sets and do the, costuming and props and stuff. Like, he has his go-to team for a lot of that stuff, too. I think when you trust someone, especially someone that you've worked on, life-changing projects for yourself, having those people around gives you a certain set of comfort, not only in the trust that they can do the job, but the fact that you want them with you on the journey of making something. Because I think Del Toro puts a lot of heart in his movies, which is one of the things I thought, having read the book a long time ago, and then looking at this movie because it was a different interpretation, the heart really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Love or lack of it is a theme in this movie. And I think that's one of the major differences from the book, because I wasn't feeling that. Like, when you read Frankenstein, it's a story of a monster or the creation of a monster. But who's really the monster? In this movie, I feel similarly, like it's the creation of a monster, but there are underlying themes that go along with that. And at the end of the day, you're asking yourself, but who's really the monster? Is it the creature, or is it Dr. Victor Frankenstein himself? And understanding what drove him to this point where he felt he needed to create this being in the first place.
Yeah.
And so this is what I brought it down to. The book is very much about man playing God and creating a creature. And then for me, I feel like Del Toro's asking us what happens when you create this being for love, but you don't let him have any love. Like, to me, that was the difference. So much of it is about the heart.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think the creature and Victor were similar in that Victor's love of his whole life was his mom. Like, that's what he felt as a kid. And I think he was driven by that pain of loss to create this creature. But then he didn't treat it well. And it's just complicated. There's a lot. I have a lot of notes about the relationship between the monster or the creature and Victor, who to me is the monster in the movie.
Yeah. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
It's a lot to dive into, and I'm very excited, to do that, because this is one of the first ones in a little while that we're really gonna like break down character by character a little bit, which feels fun.
I like it.
But yeah, while we're just like giving heavy props to Guillermo del Toro and just like going on and on about that, then yeah, as you said, a lot of heart, not just in his stories, but in the work he puts into his movies. One of the reasons he's a favorite director of mine, I mean, especially more recently, like he's climbing that list more and more when I watch his stuff and see stuff about him. I mean, he's been around forever and done a lot of great stuff, but more recent history, I've like really dug into him a little bit more and have just fallen in love with him as a director. And even just like as a person, when I'm watching these like behind the scenes things or interviews and stuff with him, there's so much joy and so much care that he puts into everything. Like I said, watching him behind the scenes working with those production people, and it's just like, it's a family that he builds in these kind of situations. He's a director who will listen to the input of other people around him and make sure that everybody is comfortable and happy with what's going on and what they're working on. But also the care of it is his. I mean, yes, there are special effects and CGI and visual effects that are in these movies because some things you just can't pull off without it. But I love that he has a mentality of keeping those things to the bare minimum only when they're fully necessary. And if it can be done practically, then you do it practically. And I love that about him, especially there's a reason that he is always up for best production design when he puts out a movie almost every time, is because these sets that are in this movie, the ship that we see at the beginning and middle and end, is all done practically. Like I have a little note about that. Yeah, is again, watch that behind the scenes. It's great, but it's a full practical set that was built and filmed in a parking lot with the outside, all the snow, everything out there. That's all like done that way. The deck, the captain's quarters, all of it are really connected set pieces. They built this boat out in a parking lot for realism, to where when they're moving from place to place, the whole thing is set up on a gimbal. So when it's shifting back and forth, when the creature's pushing on it, it's all actually a moving ship with pieces that people are sliding around on, stunt work people. Like, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to throw on a green screen and a little soundstage. No, we're going to build an entire fucking boat in this parking lot and actually push it back and forth and have people walking around and blocking location to location in and on this boat. Is awesome. And the lab and everything is all practically built, those full size sets. And like, it's immersive for the audience, but I can imagine, especially for the actors working in that environment, to feel like they are in that world, because they really are. Because the sets are all there for them to live in and work in.
I think it's much easier for actors to have something real to react to and be part of and be immersed in, versus trying to rely too much on CGI. It reminds me a little bit of James Cameron and what he did with Titanic. Say what you want about, oh my God, could Jacket fit on the door, whatever, Titanic, blah, blah, blah. He went to painstaking lengths to use original pieces as the inspiration. Like, he did the research to make sure that the ship and the sets within the ship were as realistic as the ship itself.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd about the Titanic. That's how I know.
Yeah. That's fun. One last pitch. Yeah, again, watch the behind the scenes thing on Netflix. Because, yeah, like models, like that whole tower, like the lab, like the tower that it's built in was like an actual location. Then, of course, on set, they can throw some extra CGI stuff to the top of the tower and finish it out digitally. But then the whole thing is also recreated as models. All the stuff on the inside has smaller models built. So when the tower is destroyed and exploded and burned down, they're actually blowing up a model tower when they film that. So it's those little touches that are just like, yeah, because I want it to be real, as real as it possibly can be, because that's what's immersive and that's what like creating this is. Anybody with a shit ton of money and a budget can digitally create anything, but to actually put in the time and work and heart to like, no, we're going to make this stuff and make as much of it as we can and actually have it here. It's a dedication and a craft that not a lot of people do anymore. And so I love that Del Toro, he's one of those directors that I will forever respect, where he's like, I don't care what the times are doing. I know what I like to do, and I know what works, and I know what sticks.
He's masterful at building worlds, visually bringing worlds to life. If you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, go watch that one too, because he brought a world to life in that. And it also involved like creature design and all of these different pieces. He's so good at it. He makes you feel not only with the characters, but the set as a character. I mean, we talk about this before. Music's a character and all these things. With him, the world is a character all its own because of the painstaking attention to detail that he goes to make it come to life.
Yes. All right. I think we've amped up Del Toro enough for now.
We have. We definitely have. I think we're ready to kick it off. I did not know, first thing, Christian Convery is in this movie. Did not know. Dark-haired Christian Convery is in this movie. Did not know. Wish we'd even seen more of him, but you can't because it's about a monster creation. But I bought it. I thought he did a fantastic job as the younger Victor. Yeah.
Again, I mean, I'd already seen this movie before watching it today. You know, just doing my Oscar watches and stuff, this was one that I knocked out really early. I think even before nominations came out, it was one that I was like, it's a shoo-in for noms. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it.
And it's not normal that, or not common, that you've seen a movie before me. Usually I've seen it before you, or we watch it at the same time.
Yeah.
This is one of those times that you saw it before I did.
Yes. But I was very excited to rewatch it for this today. But even then, I try to go into movies as blind as I can. I think I've talked about that on here. I don't really watch trailers. I don't look into cast lists a lot. And I like to just be surprised. So also, Christian Convery was a surprise to me the first time I watched it, where, you know, because at first you just see him like sitting in the chair, like behind you, like you don't see who it is. And then when he turns that like corner out of the chair, and I was like, oh, my boy.
Gus from Sweet Tooth, for anyone who doesn't know. Yes.
So yeah, that was fun. Always happy to see him doing cool stuff. So the fact that he's in a well-received Oscar-nominated, multiple nominated movie, good for him. Just keep going up and up, kid. He's great. And my brain does have a hard time computing the Christian Convery growing up to become Oscar Isaac thing. Casting-wise, I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't connect completely, but they're both phenomenal actors that I love a lot. So, like, I will accept it and move on, and it's fine. I'm like, yeah. So it's like, it's kind of a nitpick, but not really, because I was like, if you would have told, it's like Christian Convery into Oscar Isaac. I don't see it, but also I don't care because I love both of them so much. They do an incredible job.
Exactly.
So, like, give it to me anyway. I'm fine.
I liked the continuity that we saw from the young Victor, who is always like, and this is, it may sound silly, but he's always wearing like a white shirt and a black jacket and a red tie, and the tie is always really low or loose. Adult Victor, same thing. Like, it's very similar. It's something that when we meet him with his mom at the very beginning, it just goes right through. Like, this is just who he is. It's I think just it's a connection.
Costuming was a huge part of that. Like, the characters have their like palettes, their colors that they're wearing, and like you can really tell. Like, they change it up from time to time, but like Elizabeth is a lot of blues and a lot of yellow and blue and these like kind of different life colors, while Victor is very black and white and red. You know, the blood kind of impact on things throughout. Even as you know, the young Victor played by Convery, where it's like the red in his cape, or even just when he's wearing the white, you know, pants and shirt and stuff with his mother's blood stains on them. And it's that costuming thing, to where this is also my personal pick for the costuming category that it's up for. I've seen those as well, and this one's the one that I'm landing on for many different reasons. Maybe the front runner of those reasons being his red gloves, those leather gloves, because those are so cool.
Well, and his mom, who was played by Mia Goth.
Mia Goth. She played Claire and she played Elizabeth.
Yeah. The red costuming for her is just so vibrant, but also kind of creepy to me that it's I just felt like nothing good's gonna happen for her. This is not gonna be good.
Jumping into a little bit of Elizabeth notes, we haven't officially started into Victor too much yet. So the fact that she plays Elizabeth, but then Mia Goth also plays Victor and William's mother, Claire. And it was like, it's a literal visual representation of the essence of their mother that Victor sees in her. And that's one of those reasons that he's so drawn to her, is because, I mean, he was a big old mama's boy. And so, like, the connection that Victor had with his mother and the relationship they had. So it's kind of, it shows is like why he is immediately enamored to Elizabeth. And there's like something there is like, it's a literal representation of like, to him, it's like so much of the person and the personality that I loved in my mother is in you. So I want to be near that. So having the same actress just play both roles to give us that same representation of like, that's what he's seeing in her.
Absolutely. Let's kick this off. Let's start really talking about Victor.
Yeah. So, yeah, the first time we see him, even before that flashback, is we get the adult Oscar Isaac as this crew of this ship, the, have it written down, the Horizont. Have this explosion that kind of goes off in the distance, and they find him with whatever this creature, this beast, whatever this unholy abomination is, hunting him down. And they rescue Victor, manage to sink the creature into the ice, at least temporarily. Not before this creature fucks some shit up, takes out a few guys. Quite the opening.
The creature taking out the men, that was gnarly. Like, there were some really gnarly kills in that. I was like, okay, good job. That stood out to me right away.
Mm-hmm. And then, getting him kind of rescued and in the back, and then that's where we get Captain Anderson, which sets up the storytelling of this movie. I thought was really cool is, this captain of this Danish Navy ship that's trapped in the ice on the way to the North Pole, and this ship becomes like a location and backdrop for the storytelling purpose of meeting Victor, hearing his story as he's telling it to Captain Anderson, and then later even having the creature tell his own story from the same location. And Anderson's just this kind of plot device character who gets to sit there and hear both stories, which is interesting, but I do like that. So we're hearing about what's going on. It's just like Captain Anderson and his team have been thrown in the middle of whatever this is between Victor and the creature. And so now it's like, I guess since you're involved now, you're going to get the backstory. We're going to, I'm going to fill you in on what's going on. And then that's where we get this part one of going back to Victor's tale here. And we talked about it a little bit. This young Victor played by Christian Convery, the son of a surgeon and Baron, Charles Dance. The casting. There's so many great casting choices.
Tywin Lannister. And you're evil in this one too, really, because what you get to see is young Victor clinging to his mother.
Yeah.
His dad is not around that much, but his mom is everything to him. His mom taught him about love.
Yeah.
Really, what it's like to have a parent that loves you with their whole heart, unconditionally, whereas his father is not exactly supportive. When he is there, he's just, there's no warm fuzzies. There's no support.
Just very cold to him. He's got this kind of rocky relationship. So of course he's a mama's boy. Him and his mom are very close. And even though it is, the voiceover from Oscar Isaac talking about like, it felt like his father had some kind of dislike or hatred for him and his mother, that there was something.
Some resentment.
There was like a resentment there. And even he mentions, because Charles Dance's character, like light hair, blonde hair, while him and his mother are both dark haired, and whether that means anything, but it's like there was this kind of something different. But even then, Victor's father is teaching him to become a surgeon and kind of follow in his footsteps. Is even if there's like their relationship's not great, he's still his father's legacy. And his father is like, you carry my name, you carry my reputation, so I'm going to make sure that everything that I teach you well, that you're going to be successful.
Yeah, he's one of those dads that thinks kids are a reflection of him versus they're their own individual beings. It's all about, don't embarrass me. You have to do everything the way I do it. You've got to be the best because it reflects on me.
Yeah. And as cold and cruel as he was in his ways sometimes, his teaching was very effective. You have to, say Victor does grow up to become as skilled and brilliant as his father, if not more, that he's able to actually do the things he does. So he is an incredibly brilliant doctor and scientist and a lot of things that he grows up to become. But yeah, it's after his mother's death, after she dies during childbirth, delivering his little brother, William, which of course little William is immediately the little blonde-haired boy.
Everything, yes.
Just loved on and doted on in all the ways that Victor never was. And so it's just like his mother's death and then the love and affection his father is showing his little brother. All of that mixed with this disappointment that his father had either failed or refused to save his mother.
Yeah.
One or the other. It drives him in a way to kind of like, in spite of his father, become greater than his father ever was. And I love that moment where Christian Convery gets to deliver, it's like, I'm going to conquer death.
Everything you know, I will know and more.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell he's incredibly driven. And to me at first, it's almost out of anger and not hatred, but this animosity, I guess, that he has towards his father and blaming his father for his mother's death. Because his father's this great surgeon and he couldn't save his mother. Like, how is that possible? That means that you failed. You're supposed to be so good and you failed. And so he's driven by that, but I think he's also driven by love in some way because he's so angry because of how much he loved his mother.
Yeah.
And it breaks him. And it's hard to watch. He's devastated over the loss of his mother. Mm-hmm. And his dad tries to tell him no one can conquer death. And I think that just made it worse. Like, that made him spiteful, even more spiteful. He wanted to, well, you can tell me no, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. If this wasn't in the 1800s, if this was like a modern day telling, then the response to nobody can conquer death, he would have just looked at his phone and went, bet. Like, challenge accepted. Yep, exactly.
He would have done it. I loved the way that he described his brother and him as he was the breeze, I was the storm cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you think about it, storm clouds are dark. He's got dark hair. Breeze is light. William's got the lighter hair. Even after the death of the mom, they are not after the mom. A few years later, Victor's dad passes away. And at that point, they're separated. The brothers are not together. One goes to Edinburgh and the other one goes to Vienna. So William's off to Vienna. Victor goes to Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's kind of where we pick up on adult Victor. As we were seeing him in this disciplinary hearing, as he's being expelled from the college here. But even then, it's like it's supposed to be a disciplinary hearing, and he's taking a moment to give a presentation, give a performance. Mm-hmm. And he's amazing and horrifying, this audience here that he's got enraptured.
Did you recognize Krempy's voice right away? I knew it was Ralph Ineson. He's been in a bunch of different things. Nosferatu, The Witch. He was in the original The Office in the UK. So I've seen him in so many things. Yeah. I heard the voice. I'm like, yep, that's Ralph Ineson. There he is.
Yeah. Victor's, doing what he does to create the creature later. But yeah, taking parts of different dead bodies and bringing them back to life as this single functioning being. I love the, please always helps. That comes back. It's just fun. But from, who is watching this presentation, really, more than a hearing, one Mr. Heinrich Harlander, who may have some personally vested interest in the work of Dr. Frankenstein. Maybe. We'll get to that.
Christoph Waltz.
Yes. So fantastic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Elordi got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, but it's honestly kind of surprising that that's one of the only... Like, Mia Goth did get nominated as well, but it does surprise me that, like, Christoph Waltz didn't get nominated. Like, he could have been a possibility. Although that Oscar Isaac himself doesn't get a nomination for lead actor. True.
There are only so many spots, though.
So many spots, yeah.
But Christoph Waltz, my God, okay? Inglourious Bastards, if you haven't seen that one, my God, he's incredible in it. Yes. He's also incredible in this one.
Yeah, he's always great. Yeah, so Harlander comes to Victor as the uncle of the woman that William, Victor's little brother, is engaged to now. Let him know that William and his fiancée Elizabeth will be meeting with them, but also this other kind of, not really ulterior motives, but he's got this other proposition for Victor about funding everything that he's, got going on. It's like, okay, I see the work that you're doing. Let me give you some more ideas for that. Let me help you with some of the snags you might be catching on here. And then once you know what you're really supposed to be doing, let me be the one to give you all the tools, all the location, all the funding, everything you need to make this happen. What's the caveat? What's the catch? We'll get to it later. We'll get there if we need it. That's a bridge to cross later. But right now, just out of the kindness of my heart, I just want to document it. I just want to see what you can do.
But by doing everything that he's doing, financing it, helping him create the perfect place to be able to do the research and making sure he has all the tools that he needs, he's making him kind of indebted to him. Like, I've given you all of these things, so why can't you give me the one thing that I really want? I really need later, like when we get to it. And he's not telling him up front, and there's a good reason why, because I do believe Victor would have said no.
Yeah.
He likes to work alone. He said that already. He has a game plan of his own. He doesn't really want to work with anyone else or have anyone else influence the work that he's doing. And Harlander really wanted to influence it, and I feel like it would have been influenced at that point.
Yeah. Listen, when Victor is talking with William over dinner a little bit later, and they're talking about his expulsion from the college, and it's like, I'm sure you didn't deserve it. And he very proudly, I definitely deserved it. I earned it. Like, I was trying to get kicked out because they were trying to tell me what to do, and they were overbearing and breathing down my neck, and so that's not where I want to be. As you were saying, like, he's got his way of doing things. He's not going to be told to do it any way other. Like,
right.
And so that the college he was at was not a fit for him. And so he decided to burn it down in flames in the most dramatic way possible, while also showing what he was capable of.
Exactly. Going in and having a disciplinary hearing in front of God-fearing people who look at the work that he's doing as an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he knew what he was doing. He knew that it was not going to help his cause. I feel like it was a show and tell. Yeah. Look what I can do. Even if they were repulsed by it, I think he looked at it as, they might say they're repulsed, but they have to be a little intrigued as well. Like, it's got to be, he was hoping maybe it might intrigue them.
Yeah. And it pays off. Harlander was there. Heinrich Harlander was there, and that's what kicks everything off, is him being able to see that. He procures his initial corpses from an executioner after they are freshly hanged. Of course, that executioner, played by someone we definitely enjoyed in the last Del Toro movie we covered on here, Mr. Bern Gorman.
Yep. Back again. I have to tell you that the whole flesh lacquered with resin lymphatic system thing was... I didn't know if I was supposed to be grossed out by it or impressed by it, And if this was any other movie, I would have said, well, that's some Frankenstein level shit. Well, we're covering Frankenstein and
Yes,
it's in it, so okay. I also loved when Hollander is offering this to him and just says to him, don't pretend to be reasonable now. It would be such a shame. Because Harlander is playing or trying to manipulate that part of Victor that's...
that mad genius.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he feeds him. He strokes the ego. Yes. And now he's trying to get it or push it over the edge.
And Victor Frankenstein is, as you said, that ego. He really is ego-driven and egotistical. Like, the little boy that was just, like, attached to his mother at the hip that we first meet.
Playing chess.
He is dead and gone. That is not the Victor Frankenstein that we see as an adult. He is selfish, and he's driven, but all to his own ends. He kind of feels like the world owes him things, and he's going to take it. Even to the point that, like, when he meets Elizabeth and he falls for her, she's engaged to his little brother, and immediately he doesn't care. No, she's supposed to be mine. To where then, when we get even, like, towards the end of the movie, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but, like, some of his final words to her, you know, it's just like, what you took from me, the love that I'm supposed to have. It's like, she didn't owe you anything.
No.
And but he just feels this, like, thing, and that's why he is kind of the villain in this movie, as you said. Who's really the monster is everything that the creature goes through is because, no, I created you, and then only to do what I expect you to do, even though I'm winging it, and I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but I have to be in control the whole time. The second the control is out of my hands, then this is a failure.
Exactly. And the minute that Victor walks in the room and he sees Elizabeth holding the skull and looking at it, you can tell from that moment that he's just like, she's like me, she's special. I need her. I need to own her. I need to control her. She needs to be mine. Yeah. She's mine. It doesn't matter that my brother is supposed to marry her. It doesn't matter that she's the niece of my benefactor. I need to have her because she is like me. Like, just connect like that.
And he just dives right into just, like, pursuing her. You know, William just is conveniently needed to oversee all of the construction of the lab. So, you know, while he's there, somebody's got to spend time with Elizabeth. You know, let me follow her around a little bit, and then, you know, maybe we'll hit things off, and then things can grow from there. Taking her out to dinner and doing these things, which, I mean, you can't have a period piece movie like this without a fancy little dance scene. It's mandatory. So we got that.
So when they're all at dinner, Harlander even takes William to the study so that Elizabeth and Victor could chat. Because, again, Harlander is manipulating and trying to create this scenario for Victor to only be able to say yes. But I also think that Elizabeth makes Victor think, and he likes that.
Yeah, she challenges him.
Yes, and he likes it.
Absolutely.
I get the impression he's never met a woman like her before. That she knows who she is. She's not hiding from it. She speaks her truth, really. Yeah. She's not afraid of him.
And I think that's kind of the other prong of, like, when when Heinrich leaves them behind, takes William and goes, it's not just this little planting seed, but also he knows the intellect of his niece to where, I mean, Elizabeth, she's not afraid to call Victor on his pomp. Like, you know, it's like, and she's going to deliver her own intellect right back. And I think her uncle is very used to it. You know, we say he grabs William and they bail out because he's like, okay, this mental tennis match between the two of them is going to go for a while, so let's just go ahead and give them their space.
Yep. They're going to be talking so far over our heads that we're not going to understand a single thing that they're saying, so we might as well get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's sitting there talking about how sad it is and people dying on a battlefield far away from the people who started the war in the first place. Like, they're untouched by any of it. but these other people are dying, and that just makes him think. And he's, it's almost like seduction language for him. Like he's thinking he's just completely in love. Like even just in the short connecting points they've had, he is completely entranced because she is not like anyone else he's ever met. And he wants her. He wants her to be his. Yeah.
But the other thing about her is she's loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And she humors him to the fact of like spending some time with him and talking with him. But the second that it goes past any kind of line where he starts really trying, she shuts it down. And I love that, his feelings toward her were not mutual. They never were. And she makes that very clear. And she has to break off those misconceptions with him. And I love that thing of just like, don't you feel it? There's something physical between us. There's something. I believe that we're supposed to be together. And when she just looks at him and says, believing something does not make it true.
I loved it. I think, though, one of my favorite scenes is when he thinks he's sitting in on a confession and she knows it's him.
I love the confession scene. It's honestly one of the funniest moments in the movie that really does kind of get a chuckle out of me. She's so clever. She's so quick. And like, I think even then, like, he's kind of like annoyed at first, and then it makes him fall for her even more because it's like, oh, okay, she's on a level.
Yep. She's playing 6 steps ahead of you. Yeah. You're not even on the board yet. I mean, you might think you are. But he even, like, the voiceover he's talking about, it was the first time he really started getting interested more in life and less interested in death. Because he's been so obsessed with reanimating corpses and not about living the life that he has.
Yeah. So after, she breaks it off with him, and that's kind of that's that for that time. It does put his focus back on his ultimate goal, and he's got just a little bit of time. Harlander's getting tired of waiting, gives him kind of an ultimatum. But we do have the aftermath of a battlefield that leaves him his choice of body parts for his final attempt. He's able to figure out the missing little piece that was keeping him stuck for a little bit. Now, these bodies aren't all intact, so it's got to be piecemeal. He can stitch a bunch of stuff together. We're going to make it work.
You and I might go to Costco. He just goes to the battlefield.
Yeah. But it works out for him. Once his masterpiece is built, the storm rolls in, and it is time to defy God and nature and do what Victor Frankenstein does. And while this process is set up, he's got the creature, he's got this body stitched up, built, ready to go, got everything in place. And that's where we get the reveal of what Harlander really wanted from him in return. Once Victor had cracked it, Harlander wanted his brain placed inside this new creation as he is dying and wants a chance at new life.
One night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Because Harlander, he has syphilis.
Yeah. And as we figured, Victor refuses, stating that, this disease that he's got, he's trying to conquer death and I can keep death from happening. Maybe not in that case. He said, that disease has already infected your brain. I put your brain in this body and it's just going to infect the rest of this new body and it's not going to stop the death. You're already dead.
Yep.
By all points. So I'm not willing to sabotage my experiment for this request. It's not going to happen.
But this is where we get a lot of the character of Harlander and who he really is, because he starts offering everything, including his niece, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think, the reveal of, if you were on the fence about what kind of guy he is, that's when it's like punching you in the face. No, he's not a good guy. This was all done for selfish reasons. And he's willing to sell his own niece to get access to Adam, the body.
And they're fighting. He's fighting with Victor about this, quite literally. So, he'll slip and fall down a hole.
I knew that was going to happen. you knew that someone was going to fall, right?
Even when they're first checking out the building, and it's like these giant holes in the floor are a little precarious.
I'm like, no, someone's going through that. It's like the moon door in Game of Thrones. I mean, even before anyone goes through it, you know that it's going to be a point. I mean, they're going to go out through the hole, and it's not going to be bungee jumping. Like, it's happening.
Yeah, so Harlander goes down the hole.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
And makes his brain quite unusable anyway.
Yeah.
Big ol' bummer.
It's kind of like a Jello.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of messy.
So, Harlander's dead. Anyway, show must go on. There's some technical difficulties. And Victor just goes to bed, defeated. Well, that didn't work. You know, screwed that whole up. The whole thing up. There goes my one and last chance. However, it just took a little time. As he wakes up the next morning to his brand new bouncing baby man. Also, and when I wrote that note, it then made me kind of not really spiral, but kind of think a little bit. I was like, why is the saying bouncing baby? What, like, I'm not a doctor, but I have a feeling that you shouldn't be bouncing newborn babies in any way. So I don't know why that saying is a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, you definitely should not be doing that. I don't know what that is. Is it because is it because they just slide right out and they just figured they'll bounce off the floor?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm taking that out.
Made of rubber.
Or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. It's actually a callback to not this podcast.
Yeah.
But, I had to do it because it presented itself, and
yes,
it's just what happened. I'm not sorry. It's what it is.
So we've got the creature here in the fleshes. And then we get to see Victor just, bonding with his new creation, and they're so sweet together, right? Like, it's so beautiful, and their relationship is amazing in every way. No, honestly, it's pretty disturbing. Like, the giddiness that Victor has is he's like, because it is like a small child that he's like wanting to show the world and teach him, like, gonna walk you through here, and water, yes, and my name is Victor, and it feels very like sweet and like and the whole time he's walking him down to this lower level so he can chain him up and leave him there.
Because he doesn't trust what he created, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, it shows that, yes, it worked. However, he has no faith in this creation. He has to wait and see what it's going to do, and he doesn't trust that it's not going to tear him apart. So he has to tie him up. And that made me so sad. Because, especially as time goes on and you see the emotion in the creature, which I wish the creature had a name, because calling him the creature made me sad too.
I have a literal note where I was like, the creature, and I wish I had something else I could call him, but there's not. The whole movie, But also, it's even in Oscar Isaac's voiceover as he's telling this story still to Captain Anderson, is it's not only chaining him down there because it's like, I'm not sure what he's capable of, it's that he literally has no idea what the hell he's going to do next. It's, the saying, a dog wouldn't know what to do with a car if it caught it. It's the same thing. Similarly, a mad genius doctor wouldn't know what to do with a reanimated hodgepodge of corpse if he gave it sentience.
Exactly.
Like, what next? I created life. I reanimated the dead. It's back to life. The fuck do I do now? I don't know. Like, I didn't think this far ahead. Yeah.
He has no idea what to do with it. He's like, okay, I didn't plan for this to work, I guess. I mean, that's what I was thinking. You wanted this to work. Did you not have a contingency for if it did? Oh, yeah, the contingency is I'm going to chain him in the basement. Yeah. Then I'll figure it out.
Didn't think about it at all. And so now he's just kind of stumbling along like, well, let's see how smart it is. Let's see what I can figure out. And then watching his interactions with the creature, I feel like I can assume that Victor would have been a pretty terrible father himself. There's not an ounce of patience or empathy in this man.
None. He is not paternal in any way. Mm-hmm. He is the way his father was, honestly. Yeah. Really, truly. even if he wanted to fight to not be like his father, he was exactly like his father.
Yeah.
It's like, is he a disappointment to you? Because I started to look at the parallels. Is he a disappointment to you like you were or thought you were to your father? Because you're treating him the same. And there's even a point later where he's chained up and he's wants to hurt the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's horrible. It's like, your dad didn't do that to you. Why are you doing it to him?
Mm-hmm.
But it's scientific research. He's not looking at, and this kind of goes into something that's later. He's looking at the creature as something, not someone.
Yeah.
And that's how he saw him through most of this movie, is not as a being in any way. He saw it as a thing to control, not a person.
And it doesn't take long for him to lose interest, honestly, at this point, now that he doesn't have the control and he doesn't have the answers. You know, William and Elizabeth show up and, oops, that's what I forgot to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally forgot to let him know Uncle Heinrich had a fatal boo-boo. Forgot to fill them in on that. And then so William's got a lot of questions that Victor either can't or doesn't want to answer. Well, you know, where's Heinrich? Or is it intelligent? What's going on? And he's just like dodging all of these questions because he doesn't want to face any of the answers. And then when Elizabeth starts interacting with the creature and then has the conversation with Victor, which again, because you talked about how much heart, or this movie is about heart or the lack thereof.
Man.
Where she tells him, you know, the heart, when he's talking about, you know, his heart, and says that's the one organ that you just have no idea how it works. Like, that's the one thing you can't figure out. And saying the things, it's like, I saw pain in his eyes, and pain is intelligence. Pain is feeling pain, you know, that he's a more pure version. Yeah.
Yeah. What is pain if not evidence of intelligence?
Yeah.
Because she did bond with the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And it honestly gave the creature the first sense of love, like what love feels like.
Yeah.
What care feels like.
And Victor hates the pity that Elizabeth has towards the creature, and even goes down and, oh, pain is a sign of intelligence. Well, then, and that's when he starts taking it out on him. Well, then show me how intelligent you are. Is this pain? Is this doing it for you? And then that's where the creature really kind of snaps at him and starts yelling at him and bending that like metal bar, and seeing the true strength that it has. Now Victor's scared. And so that's what really causes him to go, all right, I'm out, scrap everything. This was a mistake. So he goes to William, lies to him, shows him the body, and then says, yeah, the creature killed Harlander. It's dangerous. You've got to get Elizabeth out of here right away for her own safety. And then whenever they leave, all right, gonna have to destroy this creature and all of my work, the lab, all of it, burn it down. We're done.
Yeah.
And he does have a change of heart, but just a little too late. With the creature screaming out his name that last time to him, and he tries to go back in, but yeah, he's blown back by an explosion, loses his leg. Luckily, Elizabeth's intuition brings them back in time. They can at least save Victor in that moment.
Honestly, I think some of this is Victor being jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I think Victor was jealous that Elizabeth took an interest and kind-hearted way to the creature, and he hated it. It made him angry that why are you showing this creature love when you don't show me love? Like, I am the one that you should be showing love to, not this creature.
Yeah, I made that thing.
Yeah.
So if you love it, you should love me even more.
You should love me. Yeah, exactly. And I love, too, that when Elizabeth is telling William they needed to turn the carriage around, she basically just says, turn it around or I'm going to jump. Like, I'm going to jump out. Because she says he's going to kill him. I think he's going to kill him. Because she even looks at the creature as a person.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much she was connected to the creature until later.
Mm-hmm.
But she taught the creature her name.
Yeah. And
he even says, you know, when Victor's getting ready to to burn shit down. He said, say another word to me. Don't just say my name.
Anything else than Victor, make me want to save you.
And he says, Elizabeth. And that just made Victor even more angry because it reminded him, Elizabeth bonded. This creature is bonded with Elizabeth. Elizabeth bonded with the creature. Doesn't anybody love me? That's what I just kept saying throughout the whole movie with Victor is, doesn't anyone love me? Why isn't it about me? Why can't anyone pay attention to me? Why is it always the creature? It's like, didn't you want that attention? You know, you created the creature and, you know, it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, Victor, you can't have it every way under the sun.
Yeah, so the tower, and the lab, and everything burning down. Victor injured, but by the way, that's, you know, the last we see of him for a while on there. Then we'll swap over to the creature's tail. But we will get to that later. So I do want to then skip a lot of that middle part and come back to Victor kind of at the end of the movie. The next time he sees his creature, his creation, is at, you know, William and Elizabeth's wedding. They're at the house here. And that's where the creature comes to him in one of those like guest rooms, asking what, you know, he has finally come to the realization of what he wants from Victor. You know, build me a companion. And it kind of had this like Godfather moment. You come into my brother's house on the day my crush is to be married, and you ask me to do monster.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, so yeah, the creature's asking him, build me a companion, build me somebody that I can live with, because clearly you're not showing me any love. Nobody else in the world is not showing me any kind of love, and I can't die. You have cursed me with eternal life. So the least you can do is give me somebody else to forever live with. And Victor refuses.
Yeah.
He won't do that, and so they throw down. Which of course then there's some, you know, a lot of a ruckus going on, which causes Elizabeth to come and check on it. And she reuniting with the creature, and Victor wants to take this moment to try to kill it, even though they just had this whole conversation about he won't die, so what is shooting at him going to accomplish? Nothing, and he should know that, but still, of course, Elizabeth stands in the way and gets shot instead. And then when William and the others run into the room, what's the first thing he's going to do? Because Victor loves to blame the creature for the deaths of people he's actually responsible for the death of. That's a red flag, man.
He does not take responsibility for anything that he does, not in creating the creature or anything to do with it, which is kind of like, I feel like it's his dad. Like, he doesn't want to be like his dad, but he's like his dad. Like, truly, he is like his dad. He doesn't, he doesn't want to be, but that's the situation that he's in.
Yeah. The creature doomed to be lonely forever. Victor doomed to be unloved and never get anything that he really wants and he doesn't deserve. William is dead. Elizabeth is dying. It's a tragedy, quite Shakespearean. I mean, actually, I guess it's Shelleyan, but either way, a clusterfuck of a wedding night.
Absolutely. And Elizabeth saying to the creature, take me with you, as she's like going to die. She wants to go with the creature. She doesn't want to be with any of those people. Not even the man she's supposed to marry, she doesn't want to be with. She wants to be with the creature. Which makes Victor even more angry.
Yeah. So tracking him down, going to this cave. Elizabeth has died. And after the death of Elizabeth, that's where the creature is really like, okay, this is what we're doing. You're not going to give me what I want. Then it's almost like, I'll give you what you want, but exactly in the way that you've cursed me. Like, okay, I'm living, but now I can't die. So the same way, you want admiration, you want to be followed, I'll never leave you alone. I will continuously hurt you and make you bleed and torment you and torture you, but I won't kill you. No. Oh, I will be the ghost that torments you for the rest of your life unless you can find a way to kill me. You end my life and then you're free. But good luck with that because you did a good job making me immortal. So, kill me or I'm going to continue to haunt you.
Yeah, he says, I will make you bleed. I will make you humble. But from this day forward, I will be your master.
God, that line
was so good.
Because I was just like, dude just learned to speak and read, and he's out here delivering the most impressive and terrifying prose I've ever heard. You may be my creator, but from this day forward, I will be your master. I was like, damn, bars.
It's like, you only listen when I hurt you.
Yeah, no, he dropping some fire bars. That conversation. Like, I skipped over it because I was like, that's creature notes. But yeah, while we're talking about it, there were so many great lines in that little bit that he's talking to Victor. I cannot die, but I cannot live alone. I am obscene to you, but to me, I simply am. The miracle is not that I should speak, but that you would ever listen.
That right there. I want there are people I want to say that to.
Right. Like, if you were not to award me love, then I will indulge in rage, and mine is infinite. God, they're just the lines. So oh my God.
So good. When William dies, or just before he dies, he and Victor have this conversation, and he basically the last thing he says to Victor is, "You are the monster."
Yeah, which I actually kind of laughed at because it's a clever use of dialogue that's dramatically tongue-in-cheek about that whole thing, because there's the whole nerdy kind of like people seeing, the creature with the bolts in its neck and the stitches, and it's like, that's Frankenstein. And then there's all the people, no, Frankenstein was the doctor. That's Frankenstein's monster. Yep. That's the monster. And so William is in this movie going, actually, Frankenstein is the monster. Yep. In this case, he is.
Yes, absolutely. But then Elizabeth, her dying words, it's love. My place was never in this world. I sought and longed for something I could not quite name, but in you I found it. To be lost and to be found, that is the lifespan of love, and its brevity, its tragedy, this has been made eternal. Better this way to fade with your eyes gazing upon me. That's what she wants. I mean, she was dying. She would rather be with him because it was an innocent connection that they had. And sometimes you find that one person that is just the one you connect with. And that's just how it is. And with her, it was the creature. And she didn't realize it until she met him. And she still kept the leaf that he had given her. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the aftermath of that, and so this, what the creature lays out for Victor is like, okay, you're not going to do what I want, then here's what's going to happen. So that kind of then full circle answers why we're at where we're at the beginning of this movie. That's why we're way up in the far north. Is now Victor must hunt down and attempt to kill the creature, or, like I said, the creature's just going to go after Victor. Not kill him, torment him. So, yeah, the hunt to the north is Victor chasing the creature. But then when this dynamite plan did not work out, at all, that's when the creature has to keep things going by following Victor to the ship that he was brought onto. It's like, oh, you didn't blow me up, and then you got rescued by some people on a boat. No. This isn't over. I told you. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to keep coming.
He did tell him. He said, if the dynamite doesn't work, I'm going to come for you again. He told you. What part of this do you not believe? He was going to come for you. He was always going to come for you.
Yeah. And I mean, the creature is the baddest motherfucker of all time. It's like, oh, you think this is going to kill me? Awesome. Let's see. Light it up. I hope you're right. Because if not, I'm going to keep coming. Mm-hmm. Let's see. And then, of course, that's the explosion that draws Anderson and his men to find Victor. But that visual, just the creature standing in that little crater created by the explosion with the ash and the flame and the, just cinders on him. I was like, that is, oh my God, what a cool visual.
Amazing. So amazing. Just, those are the moments in movies that I remember. Someone will say a movie title and I'll be like, I'll go straight to one particular scene, and this is that's one of the scenes that I will go to because it is going to be iconic, really, for this film.
Yeah, we'll say though, in Victor's, and his end, his last words, or some of his last words, it's like he learned from the creature a little bit to say some really profound and poetic things. He says, "Forgive me. And if you have it in your heart, forgive yourself into existence. If death is not to be, then consider this, my son. While you are alive, what recourse do you have but to live?" Which, beautiful. Beautiful.
To which the creature replies, "Perhaps now we can both be human."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the beginning of this movie, you're feeling for Victor because of his father and the way he is. But when you see what he's become throughout the whole movie, his arc is just bad. He's not becoming a better person.
Yeah.
He does have some redemption at the end.
Yeah.
But he's not a black and white character. He is definitely flawed. He is definitely just a difficult, egotistical jerk.
Yeah. And I mean, if the creature would have just if instead of being, "I forgive you, you can die now, you can rest," and if he also would have been "No, fuck you," I also would have been "No, that also tracks." He's fully allowed to do that because, yeah.
Absolutely. I would have. I mean, really. With everything that he put him through, he left him chained in a building that was basically on fire and collapsed, and shot Elizabeth, who he was infatuated with. I mean, really, he was. Let's be real. All of the things that he put him through, the mean-spiritedness and just the ugly treatment of him by Victor, you absolutely would tell him to, fuck off. I'm done.
So it speaks a lot to the humanity and love that really does exist within the creature, that he is able to forgive and let go.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason, I think, for some of that humanity, and it had nothing to do with Victor.
No, not at all.
And I feel like we're at a point where we can go there now.
Yeah. We flip over to the creature. As we see him, we talked about when we first see him and the mayhem he's causing, and then he sinks down into the ice. And then while Victor and Captain Anderson are having their conversation, he's crawled free from the ice, now skulks the frozen grounds around the ship, waiting for his moment to come back in. And then, I'll go back to the stuff we see in him. There's a few little things, even in Victor's tale. One of the notes that I had to make sure to talk about is, of course, whenever he first wakes Victor up that first morning, when he first meets him, and Victor walks over and opens up the window, and he shies away from the sunlight. Because it's very important. When Victor says, "No, the sun," he goes, "The sun is life. Face it." Those words are very important. I'll just don't even have to wait till I get there, because the final note I have on this, full circle for the creature. I'm just jumping to it because it's important. That one last time saying Victor's name to him as the word that means everything to him. He's being a benefactor, helping people like he did that family. He helps the sailors free. It's all full circle. And then the last image we get of the creature in this movie, stepping out into the sunlight. The sun is life. Face it. He says, what recourse do you have but to live? Live your life. So remembering some of the first words Victor ever said to him was, "The sun is life. Face it."
And that's exactly what he did. And I felt like that was the right place for the movie to go to black, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Also, when we first see them interacting, I was like, dang, Jacob Elordi is a tall boy.
Yes, he is.
All 6'5" of him just towers over Oscar Isaac.
So Andrew Garfield was supposed to play this role. And I'm like, okay, I can't picture him in it. They did not have a long time in between to be able to get the prosthetic pieces and everything ready for Jacob Elordi. But we're talking about a guy who's well known for being pretty. Like, he is in Euphoria, or he was in The Kissing Booth. Like, he's very good looking. And this was very different than anything we'd ever seen him in.
Yeah, this was my introduction to Jacob Elordi. I don't think I have not seen anything else he's done before this, because it's all a bunch of stuff that's just not
it's
for me.
Me either.
And so this is my introduction to him. So it's kind of, which I guess is great, but then it's just like, if he's known for various different stuff, be like, well, I can't even watch that now because this is the guy I want to see in anything now. Like,
exactly. Yeah, he's known for being pretty.
Like, I know he's in the new Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
Which I've heard very mixed things on. I don't know anything about that, so it's not even something that's really too much on my radar, but...
I know the story. I've seen, not this film, but another film. It's not a story I want to see reimagined. It's just one of those things. I love Margot Robbie. I think she's fantastic, but I don't really want to go down that road. It's just not a story that I need to see again.
Not to trash talk too much, but I'm going to assume that that's not the movie that's going to get him into the Oscars next year if he does make his another appearance.
Probably not.
It's not going to be that one. But he's got time. He's got plenty of time.
Did you ever see Saltburn?
No, I never got around to watching that one. I need to, but
I thought that didn't end up on an Oscar list.
It did not get nominated.
Because he was in that, and I heard it was good. But it's not a movie that I would watch, because I know, like, the story is very much, it's kind of like The Talented Mr. Ripley, which was a Matt Damon movie, and there are some stories in movies that if I know what the premise is and it's certain types, I'm not going to go see it because I don't need it in my life. It's like, no. Good or not, I don't really need it, so I'm not going to go down that road.
I do really like the different things he put into his performance as the creature here. I know he studied Japanese Buto, so he could find kind of the creature's way of moving. It's again like a dance form that's known for conveying very dark and sinister imagery and themes. So having that kind of undead movement and very dark, kind of creepy kind of vibe, he did really well. And then as dark as unsettling as the creature can be, he also portrayed him, at least at first, in a way that's very childlike. The wonder and the innocence of every little new thing.
Which made it worse when Victor was mistreating him, because I looked at him like a child.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he was grabbing a hold of that razor and Victor was angry at him for grabbing a hold of it, it just showed he really doesn't know.
Yeah.
He saw what he was doing with it, but he really didn't understand what happened, that he would hurt himself. And it turned out not to matter because he healed right away.
Yeah. I also love kind of that midpoint before he starts telling his story. Right before, I love the reveal of him on the ship the second time. Because earlier, the men are all hollering and yelling out there whenever they saw him walking around in the distance. And so the captain goes to check on it, and he's like, he's dead. I don't know why you guys are freaking out. And so the second time where the men are all freaking out and yelling again, he's like, let me handle this. And he opens the door and he's standing right there and then grabs him. God, so fantastic. I love it.
I love that part too. And he's such a commanding presence. I mean, Jacob Elordi is 6'5", so he's really tall. And
he's a skinny boy, but he still finds a way to tower over in a very ominous way.
Yeah. It's interesting because he is getting some buzz right now because they think he's been mentioned as a potential James Bond.
Yeah.
And I know they're trying, I think, to find someone who is younger.
Yeah.
That could play it more long term. But it's also, as someone who's been watching Bond movies for a long time, to think...
You have to be a bit of a bachelor kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like this kind of middle age. Yeah, I
think
haven't
he's a
seen
little
enough
young.
I haven't seen enough of Jacob Elordi to really weigh in on that opinion on whether I think he would be good at or not at that. This is what I have of him. This is my snapshot of him in total, pretty much. So.
I think it could bring in a new audience of people to James Bond, but I think we've been so accustomed to him being like late 30s, bachelor, hot, suave, guy, and Jacob Elordi isn't even 30 yet. He's 28. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It really depends on what they're going for. But in this role, I thought he crushed it. And I wasn't sure how I would feel because to me, he's too pretty. And I wasn't sure how he was going to do or how I'd feel about it. But I really think he crushed it.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Just him just appearing there in that doorway. And then Captain Anderson's were, go on, beast. Do it. Confirm your maker's tale. And him just, my maker told his tale. Then I will tell you mine.
Yeah. I like that. I'm like, just bring, you know what? Pick up a stool. Come and sit down. Let's have some hot cocoa. And we'll have you can tell me your side of the story. Yeah.
Just a random thing. I love the one eye. I guess, I'm like trying to like think, it would be his left eye. It kind of refracts the light like a nocturnal predator. Yeah. It's just the one eye that has that like shine to it. But it's just really cool. I just thought it was an incredible like little touch, a little detail that you see a lot.
Yeah.
Because when it like earlier when his hood is up and it's all dark, you just see that glow of that eye. Mm-hmm. But then even in like softer and more like, nicer scenes with him, it still kind of refracts. It's kind of this little reminder, even as he's learning and speaking and reading and loving, that there is something unhuman about him.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's not like everyone else.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the end, I just really felt like he was more human. Or maybe he represents what I wish humans would be more like, with the kindness in his heart.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he was incredibly brutal taking those men out, but he had his reasons.
Yeah, he does manage to break free and escape from the tower at the last minute. Now loose out in the world on his own. Where you see, he's got to adapt and live. He gets some clothes, meets a new deer friend who's immediately killed by hunters, who then shoot him. Look at that bald tall guy. He sure looks weird. Kill him.
Anything that's different, we've got to take it out. We can't let it live.
But he does get away and hides out in the mill of the people who shot him. Of course, that's the farm that he goes to and hides out on. And there on this farm, not only are the trigger happy hunters there, but this sweet young girl named Anna Maria and her blind grandfather, who was never really named. But it's David Bradley as the old man.
So great. And so not Walder Frey. Let's just say that, okay? Not Walder Frey. Such a kind person. And to me, the creature's experience in this house, in this environment, though he's hidden, is what makes him see what family really is and what love really is. Yeah, coming from a family form.
Yeah, watch, and he learns to speak and communicate by watching them, and so decides to repay that secretly. He's helping them with things they need, whether gathering wood, building the fence, stuff, their own little spirit of the forest that helps them out, and then in return they kind of give him little offerings of food and clothing, and so it's a real nice deal. It's a great setup for a little bit until the wolf attack. So then the family leaves for the winter, but the old man decides to stay back, and that gives him the opportunity to come out of hiding and becomes very fond of the old man. They become friends, companions for the winter. Teaches him even more of speaking, teaches him to read.
He became really good at reading. Read all of the books, started with the Bible, and just kept going.
What a way to start. I guess you can handle that, then. By the time you get to Paradise Lost at the end, it's like,
like, I started to question the blind man's books. I'm like, are you sure that, I don't know, these books, nothing really super happy happens.
Bible, Paradise Lost, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. No,
I mean, really.
They're all in here.
Yeah. But he does get really comfortable at reading and then speaking.
Yeah. And so after learning to read, then he can return to the rubble of the tower that he was born in and learns through the things that did survive the fire, like exactly what he was and who Victor was and the exact, circumstances that brought him into existence. And so now he's got this idea of who Victor is in his mind and who he is. So he returns to the old man to tell him that and sees that the wolves have returned, mortally wounded his friend. He definitely decimated enough of the wolves to scare the rest away. Brutal. But then when the man's sons return, say things just go quite poorly.
Yeah, because the old man is not there to be able to say, hey, no, this is my friend. They think that the creature killed their grandfather. And that's not the case. We know.
I mean, they pay no attention to the multiple dead wolves laying on the floor.
No, they don't.
Yeah, and, the creature can't be killed, but the hunters shoot him enough to bring him to the closest thing, to where he's out of commission for a little bit, and after this while of regeneration, he does come back, and as he states, it's one of those things where it's, life should be a gift, but here it is a curse, where he says, and I returned to merciless life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, doomed to a lonely existence of immortality. So that his plan now is, after waking up from that, is he sees, with the wolves killing the sheep and then the people killing the wolves. And it's this cycle of death and destruction. And maybe that's just what the world is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't...
It's not about the hate of, well, the man hates the wolves and the wolves hate the sheep and all of that. That's not really what it is. It's just the way that things really are.
And he's outside of that cycle because nothing can kill him. And so he's doomed to be the lonely outlier of even if the world is dark and depressing, he still can't even fit into it.
He realized that death was his only chance to end the pain, and he can't even have that. Yeah.
So he takes off after Victor, hunts him down, not for revenge, not for mercy, but for a companion, a bride of Frankenstein, if you will. He picks Elizabeth and William's wedding to be the occasion he drops in for on that.
Does anyone speak now or forever hold your peace? We didn't.
I want to die.
We didn't even get that far.
No,
did not even get that far.
Yeah. And then, we talked a lot about his conversation with Victor there and the fire bars he was spitting. Some of the best lines in the movie.
Oh, man.
So good. And so, I think I've really kind of covered everything else because we get, the showdown really between them and that ending, that full circle that I had to talk about with the sun is life. Face it. Honestly, it's a beautiful movie and I really love this one to the point that like I said, I watched it, a couple months ago or whatever before when it came out in October, I think even October, maybe sometime in November, I watched it. And so I've been sitting on it, just like I've been excited to rewatch it for this podcast and get back to it. Without saying too much, because I know it's like I have told you even before we recorded, it's like I do really like this one, so I'm excited for us to cover it. But even to now watching it again today to take notes, I found myself just literally sitting there out loud just going, God, I love this movie.
Well, Chris had seen it and he told me that he really liked it. He thought that that especially Frankenstein, like the monster, the creature, was really well done. So I was looking forward to watching it too, and it exceeded any expectations I had for it. It just was so well done. And I'm not a huge fan of some of these creature type movies because I feel like they've been done so many times, it just doesn't make sense to keep doing them.
Yeah, like another new Dracula movie that just came out.
Yeah, like, no.
Okay, like...
There are definitely exceptions. Nosferatu, which we covered last season.
That was another Oscar
so
one.
Good. This one, so good.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it well or do it different or make it special, then okay.
Yeah. And I think because we will get a Robert Eggers werewolf movie this year, I think sometime that will probably be in the Oscar list for next year. So,
Well, we're going to get on that then because
or in 2 years, whatever. I know they've been working on it, so whenever it comes out. But
I think if anything we can do to get you ahead in the Oscar death race, we try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else because I did have a couple other little notes because I have Elizabeth as like a section, but we've talked about pretty much all of that. I think I don't know. Yeah, I think that's really all of her stuff. So she does have a way of endearing people to her. It's just everybody who meets her is immediately just like drawn to her. It's just part of her personality. Even to where like the creature upon meeting her can finally speak a word other than Victor, which has been driving Frankenstein crazy. It's like, there's the only thing he says. And Elizabeth says to him, which then becomes very important. Again, that full circle at the end of the movie is perhaps for the time being, that word means everything to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found Elizabeth captivating. It was really hard to take your eyes off her or to disengage with the movie because she just was a star. Like Mia Goth, who I'm not... You guys are always laughing on Buffalo about me. You think I don't like Florence Pugh, which I totally do. You've got it wrong. It's Mia Goth that I really am not into. But in this movie, I feel like she won me over. I love that Guillermo del Toro had the creature not just be this one-dimensional character where he was the bolts in his neck type Frankenstein. He had emotion. He wasn't just a caricature.
Yeah.
There was feeling, there was thought behind it. Heart, tragedy, and he wasn't the villain. Which I think in these monster movies, a lot of times that's how it's painted. Like, this is the bad guy. The good guy, the bad guy. It was a lot more complicated because to me, and we've talked about this already, Frankenstein was the monster in this movie. And the creature, to me, was almost an anti-hero in some ways.
Yeah.
And it's just not how things are presented usually. And Guillermo del Toro just does such a great job building worlds and characters and making you look at customary figures that we've seen for years in a different way. Yeah.
I'm seeing any other notes. So we talked about Elizabeth turning the carriage back. She's not an idiot. She knows Victor's onto something there. Something's going on. So I think last note, William, talking about William, the actor who played William, the adult version, is somebody that other Oscars diehards may very well recognize as Felix Kammerer, who shined quite well in his film debut, the first movie he ever was in. Was another Netflix original, All Quiet on the Western Front, that came out back in 2022. So that was part of the 2023 Oscars death race that I watched. And that movie with him starring in it took 4 Oscar wins that year.
Wow. I had never heard of him and I haven't seen that movie. So this was my introduction.
It's a war movie. They can be brutal, but that was his film debut and he crushed it. So definitely do recommend watching that to people who haven't seen it. It's a war movie. It's fucking brutal, but he does an incredible job.
They always are. The war movies are hard watches for me. They're just, it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, immediately it's just seeing him. It's like, good to see him back in the Oscars picture. I mean, he doesn't have any nominations himself, which he didn't even then when All Quiet won. He didn't have a Best Actor nomination in that either. But still, to be a part of a Best Picture nominee that also has a lot of other like really cool stuff. Like,
Yeah,
man, he's finding the right projects.
absolutely. So I mentioned a little bit earlier that Del Toro's wanted to do this for a long time. Originally, he was working with Universal Pictures on it. He was going to have his good buddy Doug Jones play the creature.
Of course. I mean, Guillermo del Toro and Doug Jones just go together like bread and butter.
Hand in hand. That's what they do. But then it just never worked out. Netflix, revived everything, and they went with Jacob Elordi because, as I mentioned, Andrew Garfield was going to do it. I'm not sure why he dropped out, but I'm glad he did because I don't think it would have been the same, and I want it to be the way that it was. So I don't want to. I definitely do not. Yeah, I think that the way that it ended up is actually the way it really, really, really needed to be.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I'm sure it was probably scheduling conflicts or whatever, because that's what usually ends up happening.
Yeah.
The only other thing, Guillermo del Toro was really influenced by Bernie Wrightson, who had done this graphic novel in 1983 called Frankenstein. And so that was one of the big inspirations, but Bernie Wrightson actually passed away in 2017. I want to see what Del Toro does next. I'm just not sure what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, but I always look forward to whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be visually stunning in a way that, again, going back to what I was just like going on and on about at the beginning of this podcast, is like in a very like thoughtful way of like the sets and the costumes and the design and the visuals are going to be well thought out and like practical and real and built sets, and it's going to look gorgeous.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think we covered it. This was a good one.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to have to do our RFYL Awards. I think it's going to be a really hard choice. I think this year it's going to be tough.
Yeah, like should I just start now? I've got a week to figure out where everything's landing. Man.
You might want to, and I kind of want to add a category or two this year. Last year, I kind of threw in Best Director, so might do that one. I kind of want to make that an official category this year.
Well, make it official so I know to actually do the work on it.
I will. All
right. I think that's good. We'll add Best Director. We get to add one because the Oscars are adding a new category for the first time in a little while this year.
Yeah.
Casting, there's a casting category, casting award for the Oscars this year. First time they're doing that. So we can add a first RFYL Awards category, or add a new one for the first time here.
Yeah. Best Director. I kind of did it last time. I came up with it. Even though I didn't tell you about it, I just did it on my own. This time we're going to add to it.
Sounds good. All right. There goes the feedback phone. Perfect. So I hope we had some good thoughts and feedback on this movie. We'll have to check into it. So I'll go grab that. All right. We do have quite a good bit of feedback this week, which is awesome. Love hearing from people. Love seeing what you guys think. So, we'll kick it off with some great Frankenstein feedback for this week. But first, there is one little piece for Jurassic World Rebirth from last week, and I'm going to send that over to Daphne to start off with that one.
And before I kick that off, I just wanted to share one other comment that came through about our episode on Jurassic World Rebirth. Dodie sent in one that just says, and the Oscar for Best Supporting Brat goes to Pake.
Ah, yes.
So she listened to that episode. Yep. So take that and do what you will with that. But the feedback for Jurassic World Rebirth from Tony on Instagram, she said, I left a comment earlier and I just reread it and it made no sense, LOL. Hopefully I deleted it fast enough. because that was embarrassing. So my thoughts about this movie, which I saw it is on Netflix, so I did a rewatch last night. It is okay. Definitely low on my list of Jurassic Park/World movies. My favorite scenes are still the river scene with the very adorable sleeping T-Rex with a little T-Rex emoji, and the scene at the nest. The beautiful long neck dinosaurs, I know I called them the Lovasauruses, was something I didn't remember, so last night during my rewatch, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't like the big D-Rex or the other genetically modified creatures. It felt less like a Jurassic Park movie and more like Godzilla. Good point. The young man who played the boyfriend, I hated that kid. What a punk. I hated that they decided to keep the baby dino when they know leaving the island may kill it unless they live near the equator. But originally, in my now deleted post, I gave this a 2.5, but after the rewatch, I'd say 3 out of 5. Will I watch a new one if they make it? Yes, 100%. It is an addiction.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
It is. I remember sitting there in the theater and thinking, I really don't care what this movie is about as long as I get dinosaurs.
Continue on. Because it felt like Dominion was the end, and then like so quickly they're like, just kidding, we're still going to keep doing it.
Oh, man. I was thinking they could take the family from Jurassic Park 3, and now that it's been so long since that movie came out, that maybe the son has now got a child that's missing, and the parents as grandparents rushing to save him. Not really, but, you know, sometimes when you're awake with insomnia, things pop into your head.
All right. We'll get to some Frankenstein feedback for this week. First one comes from Catherine. Says, this is my favorite Frankenstein movie that focuses on the book. Young Frankenstein is my number 1. I liked what they added, but it took me 2 days to watch it. It might have worked better as a limited TV series rather than a long movie. It was great to see Christian Convery again. Yes, our boy. I recently discovered my local library has the Sweet Tooth comic series, and I prefer Christian's portrayal of Gus.
Aww.
Yeah. I also own the entire compendium of the Sweet Tooth comics, and I've read through some of them. I haven't finished it, and yeah, it's different. The comics, the original source material is darker and a little. It's different. So yeah, you know we love us some Christian Convery around here. And yeah, he gave Gus a whole new level of light and heart that the comics don't really have. So I would agree with you on that.
Definitely. The next one is from Sam, who says, epic storytelling. Guillermo del Toro is masterful. He has a talent for bringing out the humanity in the monsters and the monstrous in humans. The cast is superb. The film shows the power of female gaze in cinema, and it's a resounding success. Like Lady Elizabeth, I found myself falling in love not with the wealthy, handsome doctor, but the patchwork Addams creature with a soft heart and gentle spirit that even animals trusted. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
That's great. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
And we've got one from Laura. Great to hear from you. It says, this is one of my most anticipated films of last year, much like Nosferatu is my most anticipated film for 2024. And I'm happy to say I really enjoyed it. I've been a fan of Guillermo del Toro since watching The Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth. He is a master of gothic horror and gothic romance, 2 of my favorite genres, and he really worked both into this movie, even though the romance did not exist in the book. I recently rewatched Crimson Peak with my daughter and caught a Mary Shelley reference in that movie, so I'm thinking Guillermo has been a longtime fan of the book. But if you know this director, you know he loves his misunderstood monsters, so I was not surprised to see much of the brutality of Frankenstein's creature removed from this adaptation and his innocence and isolation romanticized. And even though Victor Frankenstein clearly has a god complex in the book, he's even more of a villainous monster in this movie, seeming to have less reason in the movie for his hatred of the creature than his motive for vengeance in the book, which was the entire decimation of his family and friends. But he is played with egotistical zeal by the ever-fantastic Oscar Isaac. Plus, I'd never watched Jacob Elordi in a role before, but I felt he gave a lot of angst and beauty to the character of the creature. And after watching Wuthering Heights recently, I gotta say, the creature is sexier. The costumes were sumptuous, the set design and production perfection, the performances amazing, especially by Isaac. My only bad was those god-awful CGI deers and wolves. Come on, Guillermo. Spend some of that sweet Netflix cash on wolves that don't look like they came off the set of Twilight. Overall, great movie. Going in my library of beautiful Gothic films for sure. Love it.
Oh, thank you, Lara. Our next one is from Connor. He says, this movie is so striking visually. What a piece of art. But I'm not going to lie. I'm a little 50-50 on this one. Maybe I don't have the attention span to be dialed into a 2.5-hour movie. I felt Dr. Frankenstein's side of the story was getting a little long-winded for me. I definitely like the creatures' telling of the story way better. But no denying the powerful performances by Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi. And Mia Goth playing 2 different characters in the same movie is awesome. Is this like her secret talent? I know she does this in X as well. Do y'all know any other movies she does that in? I don't.
Yeah, I guess this is the part where I admit that, like, all of those, like X and Pearl and that, like, those stories, I haven't watched any of those yet. And maybe we'll have to get to those in the next season or so, but we might have to.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen one of the 3. I know there are 3 of them, and I think I've seen one. But I couldn't tell you which one it is. So that tells you right there.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know if she's done that, but yeah, I was going to say, like, we'll have like those other, we've seen actors playing 2 different roles as far as like twins. Like that's become, like, that's a thing that's popped up several times. I think last season with Sinners and the Monkey.
Yep.
Speaking of Christian Convery, he's coming back up. But like one character playing 2 different roles that are not related to each other.
Yeah, she did a
I don't
great
know.
job.
I know it's happened, but
I really liked what she brought to the table.
And then our last one this week comes from Becky, who says, I loved this movie. The storytelling was amazing. I didn't expect to feel so much for the monster. Phenomenal acting, and the cinematography was amazing.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I had been looking forward to seeing this movie, and then it did not disappoint me in any way.
Mm-mm.
And I really hope that Jacob Elordi wins, because I think what he did with the creature in this movie was fantastic. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Only, 2 weeks till the Oscars? Or a week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I have thoughts about what's going to win stuff and things, but then I was like, well, this is coming out before my episode of Wilhelm with Ben and Brandy, and I don't want to spoil things. Y'all are going to have to tune into Wilhelm to check that out. So we'll get into that in a little bit more, though. But yeah.
Maybe I'll get him to talk a little bit about it on next week's episode that drops just before the Oscars, after you've had time to listen to Wilhelm.
Yes, maybe.
Well, if you'd like to leave feedback, we are part of the Podcastica Discord server. It's getting active over there, so you can join us on our Run for Your Lives channel. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Run for Your Lives Podcast, or you can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. You can go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links that you'll ever need. And if you're enjoying the show, tell your friends. We are available on all the podcast players, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. If you feel so inclined, give us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that is the best way to share the love and get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. And of course, speaking of sharing the love, I got to give those shout outs to other things in the Podcastica universe around us and beyond for you to listen to, check out this week. A lot of good stuff over on the Cast of Us. The Walking Dead rewatch continues on. Jason is joined by Alex now to jump into season 6, episode 1 this week. They're starting that season up, so you can check that out on the rewatch over on Cast of Us for Walking Dead. Also, a looking back at previously aired episodes of shows. Season 1 of Severance is being covered over on Wax Episodic. Jason and Karen over there doing that coverage, so make sure to check that out as a Severance fan. Or if you're finally needing an excuse to start watching Severance, which, yes, do that. It's very good. Yeah, jump in over there on Wax Episodic. And then, Yeah, not a ton of other things this week on Podcastica, but a lot is coming soon, I promise you. So definitely some great things in the works that, stay tuned to Podcastica. Go to podcastica.com to follow all that, even, during our little break between seasons, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Then you can see the great stuff that is coming up. But outside, again, as I said, there's a lot of good stuff to check out. Pirate Core Entertainment Network. Good friend Mark is launching a new podcast over there with a co-host named Dimitri, and it is the Kaiju Cast. Mark has found his match. I don't know, somebody who is as big of a Godzilla and Toho fan as he is, to nerd out on all things Godzilla universe over there. So the Kaiju Cast has been launched. They are covering Monarch Season 2, which just came out, and that is a joint effort between Pirate Core and Podcastica as well. So little bridge the gap here to start that one off. So definitely check out Kaiju Cast covering Monarch Season 2. And then What's On Tonight, Becky and Mandy are covering The Pit Season 2 as well, and that's been getting even more buzz than the first season did. It's just been blowing up. So if you're watching The Pit, you gotta listen to Becky and Mandy, because not only their coverage of the episodes, but they've been throwing in all kinds of interviews and stuff with cast and crew throughout the time as well. A lot of great stuff over there for you to check out.
Noah Wyle has cleaned up on all the acting awards for The Pit Season 1. It's been crazy how that show has blown up. And I think at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, they won for ensemble cast as well. So it's pretty wild.
And then, of course, as I kind of hinted at, yes, also check out our friend Ben Beck over on his podcast, Wilhelm. He's been doing a lot of great stuff over there. We have, got to give some shout outs to those. Been doing some interviews and stuff over there as well with Kevin James and different people. So definitely be checking out Wilhelm as well. A lot of good interviews and covering stuff. Follow on socials. He's been getting early screenings of movies and putting up spoiler free reviews and stuff like that. So definitely go check out that. And then, yes, this weekend, tomorrow, actually, if you're listening to this as this launches, I'll be recording with him and Brandy on our Oscars special, where we're talking about all of our predictions for this year's Oscars, and then some of our favorite, personal picks and stuff like that. I will give you, tentatively, I think that should probably be up on Monday. We're recording this weekend, so stay tuned to Wilhelm for that. If you want to be one of the first to hear my official thoughts on Oscars predictions and picks, then yeah, gotta tune into Wilhelm for that. And then if you want more of me and Daphne with our good friends Jeff and Jerry, of course, you can always check out the Buffalo podcast. We keep on running over there every week. We got no time, no thoughts of ever stopping, ever. No breaks. Just go. Yeah, because we just have so much fun over there, and it's a lot less work. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just getting together, goofing around, trying to make each other laugh, be as ridiculous as we can, play some fun games, do some fun stuff. So yeah, you never know what to expect over there.
You never know who's going to drop by over
sometimes there's some guests that pop in. Sometimes there's some crazy games. Sometimes you never know. So you got to tune into Buffalo to check out the fun over there. But aside from all of that, even though this is the last movie of the season, we are not quite done with the season. We do have one more episode for you to come back to next week here on Run for Your Lives. And it's a big one.
It definitely is. It's our season 10 finale episode. It will include our season 10 RFYL awards, but also a surprise guest.
Mm-hmm.
We may talk a little bit about a movie that that means a lot to this podcast.
Yeah. It's should we say a lot? Let's say a little now, but then by the time it comes up next week, you'll see it on socials and stuff in a few days by Monday or something when I post more on Facebook. Then I'll be a little bit more direct. But yeah, if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, there is a movie that we started this podcast covering, and then we even went back and recovered it again many, many, many episodes later. And then we might just have one of the cast members of that movie on this very podcast to talk all things that movie and more. So a big interview for us that we were excited to get to do. And that'll be the first hour of next week. And then we'll get into our RFYL awards. So supersized episode, ending episode 250 and this season 10 Big numbers to put up there with a bang.
Absolutely. And so I'll just request this of you all early. Let us know, who are your favorites, or what are your favorites from this season? You know that we give out our awards for main character, side character, threat, movie, episode, and a new category this year, director. We'd love to know what your picks are. And if you have trouble narrowing it down, that's okay. Share whatever your favorites are. We're really interested in what you think.
Yeah.
We had a great season of movies, and some of our best episodes yet, I think, were on this season. So, yeah, we'd love to know what you think. And with that, we've reached the end of another terrifying yet fun episode of Run for Your Lives. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run, you'd better run for your lives.
Victor!